Hi, everyone. This is Rabbi Kerry, Chaplin from Shul. Welcome to Resist Burnout, your 15-minute weekly call to restore and regenerate and return to who you are. Whatever your background or practice is, this is a space, a call for you. This week, the week of July 4th, I think especially many of us are thinking of healthcare and the lives at stake in the proposed healthcare bill, the lives and families at stake in the travel ban, and the lives and families separated by ICE. We're thinking of lives in the balance. We know the stakes are high, and we know we have to stay, in the fight and working for justice and for the people we care about and for ourselves. So we come together on this call as a kind of way station amidst the chaos that is so, in our current culture, our current American culture, so plagued by the diseases of racism and Islamophobia, and even a lack of caring and empathy. Whatever your personal rituals, practices, or religions, the Shul team and I hope that Resist Burnout is one of many way stations for you to sustain your commitment and your energy to the work for justice. Each week now, Rhonda Rosen guides us in meditation, and someone from the field, an organizer or activist, offers us words of inspiration. And this week, that person is Maryam Saleemi, which I'm super excited about. And I think you'll understand why soon. Everyone is on mute because of the brief nature of the call, and that means no introductions. But I'd really like us to honor this temporary community of like-minded strangers throughout the country. So please, when the call is over, I invite you to post a picture of where you're listening, who you're listening with, coworkers, cute animals, your sunny corner of the office if you're at work today like me, or, post a word or two of what's on your heart after the call. In the meantime, let me say something about who I know is on the call today. Our numbers are small. I hope that means people are out enjoying, maybe a day off and finding their way stations and their rejuvenation in other places and with their communities, wherever they are. But today we have people from Pennsylvania, that's Rhonda, and where I happen to be sitting right now, from New York, California, Florida, Vermont, and DC. I'm sure other places too. And there are people on this call who are working for immigrant rights, for healthcare access, for queer rights, for refugees, interfaith relationship, academics, artists, peacemakers, troublemakers, consultants, and parents, and all of us pursuing the world we aspire to live in. We gather on this call to practice our own helpfulness. We have just this one self and a whole lot of work to do with it. Calling from Pittsburgh, Rhonda has been studying mindfulness meditation and practitioner since '73 and leading mindfulness meditation for 10 years. And I happen to be sitting in the same room with her today, which is a great joy. So I'm going to pass the phone to her.
Thanks, Kerry. And this time I know you can hear me. So some times are extremely dark and we get lost and overwhelmed, yet we are called upon to keep functioning well. There's so much at stake. We are at risk of depletion and depression. On one hand, we need to make room for our emotions that are arising without slapping them away or burying them. On the other hand, we don't want to be swallowed by them and have the darkness become our way of life and color our entire perception of the world. Sometimes we must begin to actively look for glimpses of hope and efficacy before we lose our way. We have to begin to put what energy we have into getting permission for hope to arise, even when a hope begins to look naive, especially if hope seems naive. I have a friend who was feeling depressed, lifeless in the gloom of a Pittsburgh winter. She began a practice which I think is remarkable. She would go for a walk every day in the woods near her home and look for any sign of green, any sign of life. This was a deliberate use of her attention to cultivate a relationship with her own source of vitality, even though her natural inclination was to match the grayness of the Pittsburgh winter. That is one of the functions of these conversations, these resist burnout phone calls. We are deliberately cultivating the strength we need to do our important work. We are altering our normal routine, seeking solidarity with like minded folks, and reinforcing our need for self care. This is like looking for green in a gray winter. We are practicing the capacity to direct our attention in ways that are wholesome and feed us and keep us active and engaged. So let's practice now. Just sitting here, not doing much. We've decided to take time out from all that is demanded of us. Please find a pretty comfortable position. I hope you're feeling safe enough right now to let down your guard and move inward and continue breathing, feeling the breath at the nostrils, neutral and subtle. Here's the inhale, and here's the exhale. And the transition in between. And each time the attention wanders, just bring it back. This breath, in this moment, breathing all by itself. With just enough energy in your attention that it rests so gently on the continuous movement of the breathing. Attending to the breath as if it were the most interesting thing. There's nothing to control, and there's no right or wrong way to breathe. And each time the attention wanders, very gently bring it back. It is so good to take some time outside of time. And if you ever have trouble focusing the attention, you can count the breaths from 1 to 4 and back again. Just labeling the exhale with a number. The breath can be a place of stability, comfort, and ease. And if you like, the attention can move to feel the body, simply resting here alive from head to toe. Letting the muscles of the face and the eyes and the mouth get soft. Letting the eyes become passive and receptive. Letting all the social muscles of the face relax. And the muscles around the ears and the jaw can relax. Hearing is passive and receptive. Feeling the neck and the shoulders, the arms and the hands, and the weight of the arms and the temperature of the hands. And here's the upper back and the chest, feeling what it feels like to be alive in this body. The middle of the back and the abdomen, the trunk of the body breathing. Feeling the weight of your body just sitting or lying here. The legs and the feet. And the connection between the feet and the floor. stable and grounded. Then return the attention to the breath, if you like, which is still breathing all by itself. And it is so good to know that you can make this a part of your daily life. If you begin to notice you're becoming preoccupied, you can invite yourself to breathe and rest just like this. And you can redirect your attention to any of the senses. What do I see, hear, and feel? And when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, you can let them open and notice what you see, the shape and light and shadow. Very good. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, Rhonda, for reminding us to draw on our senses to look for hope, even if others might call it naive. Calling in from Los Angeles, Maryam Saleemi is a good friend. She and I have prayed side by side many times, and we got to know one another in a Muslim-Jewish partnership in LA called New Ground. I'm so happy she's with us today. So I'm going to unmute you now, Maryam. Maryam, you there?
Thank you, Kerry. Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you. And thank you, Rhonda. Really needed that. For as long as I can remember, I feel like I've been resisting burnout. From 10th grade in high school, hearing about attacks on 9/11 and the associations made with Islam and with Muslims, I've been fighting to defend myself, my family, and my community to the rest of the world. Since then, it's been my mission in life to fight for my community. I've been working at a few nonprofits, organizing around the Muslim American, Arab, and South Asian communities here in Los Angeles, to uplift, to empower, and to bring awareness to the issues surrounding Muslim Americans. But it hasn't been easy. I've gone through moments of depression and moments of deep anxiety. Here I am, this introverted girl trying to fight for Muslims in her community to be seen and to be heard. And there are moments where I feel like I can't keep fighting, moments where young Muslim girls like Nabra in Virginia are brutally murdered just walking back from the mosque after having breakfast at IHOP with her friends during the month of Ramadan. This was just a few weeks ago, and we were all fasting together, Muslims around the world, from sunrise to sunset. And during the evening hours, we pray together, sometimes in the mosque. And there are certain days where we pray all night. And I remember as a teenager in Ramadan, I would do the same thing Nabra did. I would stay up all night with my friends praying at the mosque, and I'd go to the local Denny's or to the IHOP because those were the only restaurants open at 3 a.m. for breakfast. And many other teenagers did the same. Hearing about Nabra affected the Muslim American community very deeply. This could have been us. This could have been our sister. This could have been our daughter. It was tough. An innocent young girl taken away from us because of hate, because of Islamophobia, and because of violence. With everything going on in our administration and with the increase in Islamophobia and hate crimes, Muslims in America are scared and they're vulnerable, and I feel this too. Luckily, in this phase of my life, I've come to realize I can't deal with this alone, and that there are millions of people, Muslims and non-Muslims, feeling the same way, fighting for themselves too, and I've learned we can fight together. After Nabra was murdered, a group of us Muslim women here in South Los Angeles quickly planned a vigil in the Muslim community in a local mosque in South LA. Nearly 200 people showed up to pray and to heal together. I saw Muslims, I saw Christians, and I saw Jews. In these moments, I find strength in our interfaith communities when I see that others have my back. People like Kerry have my back. Kerry and I met through New Ground, as she mentioned, and New Ground is a Muslim-Jewish partnership for change. We did the fellowship together. It's a 9-month-long fellowship where we have 10 Muslims and 10 Jews come together, and we focus on conflict resolution, relationship building, community development, and service. At the end of the fellowship, we are given this task to create a project or initiative where we can share what we've learned with our communities. We created an initiative called Two Faiths, One Prayer. We prayed together across LA, from Santa Monica to City Hall, and we filmed this along the way. We uploaded it and shared it on YouTube. We got press around the world, from my parents' country, Pakistan, to Israel. When I'm with people like Kerry, I feel like I'm not alone, that we're not alone. I remember it was a sunny Sunday morning here in California in January this year when we organized for us to meet together on the beach. It was the same day we heard about the travel ban, or let's call it what it really is, a Muslim ban. We all were shocked and reeling from the news of everything going on in our administration, that we were all yearning to be together, to pray together. I'm grateful for the community and for this call even. Community has been an essential part of my healing process. I take refuge in a community of activists. As an introvert, in the hours leading up to a meeting, the first few minutes of a meeting, I want to die. I want to give up, but organizing meetings, I go to take away the feelings of helplessness. When I look around and I see the diversity of age, race, religion, and purpose in a room full of people who are making a difference, I feel hope. There are people who have been organizing for decades, people like you, and there's so much to learn from. These reminders that most of all, just being around others who give a damn gives me a true sense of joy and a sense of community, which propels me to action. Thank you.
Maryam, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It really has been an honor for me personally to be in community with you. I have your back. I know you have mine. And what's really awesome is we know so many other people who feel the same way. Thank you very much for sharing, Rhonda, for guiding us in meditation today. And thank you again to Maryam. I encourage everyone on the call today to please share a photo of where you are right now, or a couple words about what's on your mind. And we'll post a recording of today's call later today or early tomorrow. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll be together again next week.